Howdy. I felt like doing a vlog sometime this week because I haven't done one in a while, and there's been, some changes in my life that I feel that, I should get out to the world. Not like it's, a huge deal to the entire human race, but there are some people that maybe would feel like it would benefit them to get an update on my life. A few things. One is I have an official graduation date from college. It's November 24th. It will be soon. One thing I guess I can reflect on are a few things, I guess. It took way longer than it should have. I should have been graduated in just about around the same date, but in 2013. So you can imagine that it's been a long time coming. Mainly, it was my own fault. I ended up failing a lot of classes. And due to my failing of a lot of classes, I actually got withdrawn a while back. Actually, it was around 2013. It was like September 2013, I believe, and it actually took about 7 months to re-enroll. Just because it was such a hassle to get to the right people and talk to the right people, get my finances in order, and get back into school. But, anyways, I will be graduating soon. With that, I am. Sorry. With that, I am. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous about what will happen, because basically there's a lot of, not necessarily pressure, but it feels like there's a lot of pressure on me to get into my field, into my industry, because I have a lot of loans to pay off. I'm not getting a whole lot of hours from work, and there are finances and bills from my parents that I feel there's some kind of responsibility there to help with. So there's a good amount of pressure. My loans are gonna, you know, uh, have to be paid off very closely after my graduation. And I'm nervous, not just because of finances, but because I have already looked into my industry and tried to see if there's a streamlined way of finding a job, and there really isn't. There are gigs, little projects in like in Massachusetts, that I can probably tag along if I ever had the time. But honestly, outside of that, I don't know where to look. So it's gotten me a little nervous at this point, because I don't know how quickly I'm going to be able to find a job after graduation. Especially since if I went to my school and got help to try and find something, how would I explain to an employer that knew about the program? How would I explain to them that it took me 4.5 years to get a degree that should have taken 2.5 years through that program? I don't know how to explain that, outside of I failed classes, you know. So that's going to be a difficult challenge. If I can get past, how long it took, then sure. But really, even on a resume, I have to at least put down that I was in school from May 2011 to November 2015. So when they see that, that gets kind of fishy. That probably rings a bell in their head that says this guy didn't graduate on time. So I don't know. We'll see how that pans out very very soon. Going to the work thing, like I said, I'm not getting very many hours. My check, I just actually checked what my check was like for this last week. It wasn't too bad, or past 2 weeks because it's bi-weekly. Wasn't too bad, but my hours fluctuate, and they don't do that in a good way. They go from potentially almost 40 hours one week to the next week being only 16, 17 or so, and that doesn't make for a good check. My conflict in my head is whether or not I should wait to see if I can get something in my field, right after I graduate. Obviously, I'm not very hopeful of that, but, even a few months after that, if I find something, is it worth trying to find a second job or a completely different job right now that would give me more hours? I don't know. It's difficult to say as to whether or not it would be worth a damn to even look for another retail job or something. So that's also a mystery in my head, as to whether or not I should even look. I did look. I have looked over the years, honestly, to see if there was something better for me, but I don't know. I really don't. So I've been kind of just biting my tongue. That being said, I don't want to get into too many details about this, but basically I transferred stores. I went from a store that was a little bit further away to one that was closer. The official reason is because it was closer, but the unofficial reason was to get away from a certain person that worked in that other store. That person just got transferred to the store that I work at now. There were a lot of problems involving not just me, but several people with this one particular person in that store that she worked at, and as well as at the time, obviously, I was working at. And it was made official like about a month ago. Well, probably even later than that. More recently, but because there were, I guess, complaints about her through HR and through certain channels. And I guess the solution to those complaints was just bring her to the other store, bring her to the store that I work at. I, myself, actually was talked to by HR, by our HR department, about this woman, about these complaints, and I gave my 2 cents. So I don't really understand why their solution was to bring her to me, bring her to this store that I'm in. There are many other stores that they could have put her in, and they decided to put her with me. I think the motive there, and this is just a theory, is to make me leave. Like, either make me transfer again, or not make me, but make me motivate myself to either seek out another job or go to another store. That's not going to happen. I have tried to get to the other store that I originally worked at as maybe a promotion or maybe just more hours. I mean, I need the hours anyways. I need the more money anyways. So if that happens, it happens. If not, oh well. If I do pursue another job, it's not because of this woman being there. It will be because I won't get the hours. Right now, I mean, this is my second day out of 4 days not working, and then next week I only have 20 hours, so that's just kind of an example that I'm obviously not getting enough hours. I'm not getting hours in general compared to what I used to get. So there are things to consider as far as work is concerned. Um, so I guess that's kind of the update as far as my work is concerned. Another kind of sort of update on my life, my personal life, I guess, is my, my dating life, my relationship life. Not that that's, any concern to anybody on a really personal level, but just in the grand scheme of things. I've basically decided that I'm not going to continue dating or not make it a big deal. In my head, I've had a lot of time, a lot of single time, to think about what is important. And as much as I don't want to be alone forever, because I don't, right now, there's been influences that have made me believe that it's not worth trying to find somebody. One of those major influences is that I have tried and I have failed. Another influence is there are going to be some big changes in my life from here on out. Like I said, getting a job in my field. I don't know where that's going to take me, and I don't want to get into a relationship or even dating in this area and find a really good opportunity elsewhere, and complicate things. So there's that. But then also there's, like I said, I've tried to date and it obviously has not worked out for me because I'm not dating, and I'm making the decision to not date because it just not worked out for me very well. Not only that, but my past relationship, most recent one, ended a year and a half ago. Because I ended it. The circumstances involving that are, a bit personal and private, and they should be private, but the main thing that occurred was basically lack of trust. There was no real reason for the lack of trust. There were circumstances involving maybe potentially losing that trust here and there in me. But the reason why I'm going into this is because the relationship that I had then, the timeline, the time that it occurred, I guess, in both of our lives probably wasn't the best time for it. But it and her, I can guarantee you, I can promise myself, and I can promise everybody that I'm not going to find that relationship and that passion for one another ever again. It's just not going to happen. And people could probably say, "Oh no, you'll find somebody else. You'll find somebody better," because obviously that relationship didn't work out. But like I said, the relationship was poorly timed in our lives. I'm not going to get into her personal life, but I'll just say that there were things in her life that probably influenced her lack of trust in me. Not saying that, it was entirely, other things that led her to not trust me, but I'll just say that it was a poorly timed relationship. And I think if we had the relationship, or rather started the relationship maybe around now, or maybe a little bit later in life, it probably would have been better off. because, we're in better places right now in our heads. But bottom line is, there is a part of me that believes that no matter what I find for prospects for relationships or whatever, I don't honestly believe that I will ever find as good of a person for me as her. There, there are certain people in my life that would totally disagree with me, like I said, but I don't think that I could find somebody as more perfect for me as her. She was basically me in a female body, in a female incarnate. And like I said, she was more perfect for me than anybody else. And and a part of me will say, will think that if that person did not work out for me, meaning if I ruined a relationship, or if a relationship was ruined with a person that was perfect for me, how is it possible for me to find another relationship? And like I said, people will probably argue, oh, there's somebody better out there, and obviously that relationship wasn't perfect. You're right, the relationship wasn't. She was. So, I guess my update for my dating life or whatever is I'm very not hopeful of it. Because I don't believe that I will ever find somebody that is right for me, especially in comparison to her. So, that's where my head's at, I guess, for that. If I could ever... I don't regret breaking up with her, and I don't regret ending the relationship. I do regret losing her in my life in general as a whole. If I could have either her or a person exactly like her in my life, just in my life in general, right now, it would probably be the best support for me, and it would be the best thing for me. Because I am very alone right now in general, as far as my social life and stuff is concerned. That would be probably the best thing for me right now, honestly, because she was a really good support for me, and I was a really good support for her. But anyways, that's it. That's all. I don't really have anything going on in my life right now. This weekend, me and my parents were updating. We're upgrading my bedroom because the carpet is disgusting. The walls are disgusting. Everything about it is gross. So we will be redoing that whole thing this weekend, starting today. So that will be fun. Not really, but at least I have it off. So we'll get it done. But that's it. Hopefully that was enough for you.